Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb with News and Nutrition, talking about why you get fat and stay fat. And I want to introduce you to your saboteur. This is taking the work of Susan Pierce Thompson in her book Bright Line Eating. The concept of your brain as a unified hypothesis is actually something we have to start with. Your brain, you, are not one organism. Think of yourself more like being a committee. There's a bunch of you. Your brain has different parts of you that are responsible for different behaviors or actions that your body carries out. For example, your brainstem is responsible for keeping you alive, and your brainstem is responsible for controlling things like breathing and consciousness. And you can discover the power of your brainstem by doing the following experiment. Wouldn't it be interesting for you to know if you could stay underwater as long as a pearl diver? They go down for 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, so hold your breath for 2 minutes. Take a deep breath. I won't waste 2 minutes doing that, but if you do that on your own, I suspect when you get to about a minute, you'll be frantic. And your brain will be saying to you, this is a stupid experiment. Stop doing this. You're going to die. Somewhere around the 90-second mark, you're going to give up. If you can make it that long. That's your brainstem telling you, you have to breathe, and it takes over from that. How does this relate to food? Let me give you the following experiment. Back in the days before we had as effective seizure medicine as we have today, there were people who had intractable seizures, and they were given the surgery that cuts your brain in half, right down the middle, called the corpus callosum. And that surgery disconnects both sides of the brain from each other. The problem is your brain communicates across. And the other problem is your vision in your eyes is cut in half by fields, and one side of your brain connects to the other side of your body for muscle strength. So there's quite a bit of crossover. Okay, now take those folks who've had the seizure, 4 of them, and show them a series of pictures that have connection to each other. But one picture's here and another picture's here. And you might show a chicken with its claw, or a snow shovel with snow in a home, and ask the men to make connections. Now these are connections you and I can easily make, but the men who'd had the surgery didn't make them at all. And what was interesting is when they didn't make them, when asked why, they had no awareness that they hadn't made them, and they confabulated the reason. Why'd they confabulate? Well, the left hemisphere has something called the left hemispheric interpreter. It's a functional part of your brain that's basically meant to make language sense out of why you have done something. So you've just had a tough day, and there's 4 chocolate chips sitting on the counter, and your left hemisphere interpreter says, you deserve that, don't you? It's been a hard day. You really should do that. Or, I've been stressed out. I need to do this because I'm stressed out. Now you know your goals are to lose weight, but that little bit of sugar won't bother you that much. Not that big a deal. So you have some sugar. Your left hemisphere interpreter, aka your saboteur, sabotaged you. Meet your saboteur. We do that every day. How do you get around your saboteur? Habit. You have to get into habit, and habit becomes strong. The more you practice it, the more you are committed to it, the more you stick with it, the stronger it gets. Read Susan Pierce Thompson's book. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Bright Line Eating. It'll show you how to lose weight and how to create habits. Take you about 66 days. What will work for me? I'm following 2 of her bright lines. No wheat, no sugar. And I've now learned, I've got a scales, and I've now learned to weigh my lunches, and most of all, I'm planning what I'm going to eat the day before. I don't need to lose much weight. Quite happy where I am. But boy, I like that method because it gives me a feeling of comfort and control. This is Dr. John Whitcomb with News and Nutrition talking about your saboteur.